Kamala Harris campaign asked Josh Shapiro if he was an Israeli agent. What? Okay. This to me is a crazy revelation because to the onlooker, to the outsider, you're like, wow, that's a really fucked up question. Like, that's kind of racist or, that's kind of anti Semitic. But the fact that that was a part of the vetting process implies that this is like a thing that these guys are thinking. Why is that even a question that a Democrat would ever ask another Democrat? What do the Democrats even think of other people who are pro-Israel or are Jewish in general in Congress if that is literally a question that would be asked? To me, he said no, so they went with Waltz. Yeah. He was like, no, I'm not an agent of Israel. They were like, oh, you're not eligible. Sorry. We will go with, I will do the nuclear first strike on Iran, Tim Waltz. There's a couple things about this that is very interesting. This is another angle that also is important. This implies that her team, Kamala's team, was already aware of the Israeli fuck shit, and she still refused to have an anti-Israel stance, a strong enough anti-Israel stance. But once again, there's a difference between how pro-Israel are you as a question versus were you ever at any point an agent for the state of Israel? If that is even a question in the vetting process, okay, if that is even a question in the vetting process, that implies that like serious Democrats have had a serious concern about this. Okay? That's crazy to me. Governor Josh Shapiro of Pennsylvania, a prominent Democrat who was a top contender to serve as former VP Harris running mate, offered his most detailed accounting of the date. The vice president's search process in his new memoir, which was obtained by the New York Times. In short, he suggested it was far uglier than is commonly known. In Mr. Shapiro's book, Where We Keep the Light, the governor is measured in describing his interactions with Ms. Harris herself. But Mr. Shapiro, who is Jewish, details a contentious vetting process in which Ms. Harris's team focused intensely on his views on Israel. So much so that at one point he wrote, he was asked if he had ever been an agent of the Israeli government, a question he found deeply offensive. Had I been a double agent for Israel, wrote Mr. Shapiro, describing a last-minute question from the vetting team. He responded that the question was offensive, he wrote, and was told, well, we have to ask. Bro. Do you guys understand what I'm trying to say? I'm trying to say that the American government is so fucking corrupted as an institution down to the wire that a prominent governor of a major swing state is asked the question if he had at any point worked for the state of Israel. If that is a part of the normal vetting process, that implies that this question has probably been asked before, and maybe sometimes the answer is yes and sometimes the answer is no. That is insane to me. Do you see what I mean? You don't, that's not even a question I would think to ask a person, right? Because I'm not in the American government. That is insanely concerning because normal people that are oblivious to what's going on will read this as, well, yeah, Shapiro did volunteer work in Israel during high school, including on an IDF base. I'm assuming they're thinking back to that. Yeah. But even then, do you see what I mean? Normal people will read this and go, oh my God, I can't believe how anti-Semitic the Kamala Harris team was, right? This is supposed to read as a way to make Josh Shapiro look good, a victim of anti-Semitism who lost his righteous position as the vice presidential pick for Kamala Harris. But there is a much more sinister read that you can get from this, a much more sinister takeaway, which means that there might be fucking people who have at some point worked for the Israeli state at some capacity that are literally, they got higher clearance. You have to ask. We have to ask. They are above it. Check log. Also, this kind of feels like he didn't answer the question. Mr. Shapiro wrote that he understood the questioner was just doing her job, but the fact that he was asked such questions, he wrote, said a lot about some of the people around the VP. He was pressed on other questions about Israel, he wrote. I just wondered whether these questions were being posed just to me, the only Jewish guy in the running, or if everyone who had not held a federal office was just being grilled about Israel in the same way, wrote Mr. Shapiro. An outspoken critic of what he saw was anti-Semitism on college campuses amid the Israel-Hamas war. Yeah, this is a damning sentiment, once again. This statement in and of itself, depending on where your biases are, is either going to cause you to think, oh man, Josh Shapiro is a real victim here. Or if you're, on the side of having a normal brain and an active conscience, is going to make you think, why are you fucking hyper focusing on anti-Semitism on college campuses amid the genocide in Gaza? A representative of Ms. Harris did not immediately respond to a request for comment. These sessions were completely professional and businesslike, Mr. Shapiro wrote, but I just had a knot in my stomach throughout all of it. Yeah, my takeaway from this, once again, there's a couple different takeaways. One is that they're asking this in the vetting process, so it's definitely a thing that at least has happened in the past, right? And two, they were very cognizant about Israel being a major issue with the campaign. One that not only was a major issue in the fucking campaign, but one that obviously was like ringing enough alarm bells. And yet, their public-facing attitude on the issue was really fucking awful. Josh Shapiro implies that the Harris team grilled him on Israel because he was the only Jewish guy in the running, insinuating anti-Semitism. Maybe it's that you publicly broadcasted volunteering for the IDF and wrote straight-up Israeli propaganda in college. Yeah. Also directly intervened to snuff out Gaza activism on Penn to ban organizations and protests. New hundreds of unseen docs indicate Josh Shapiro gained an unprecedented level of influence at Penn, sought to ban its main pro-Palestinian group, and had a partnership with a significant pro-Israel group on campus. Oh my God. Oh my God. Bro, can you take that hat off? It's genuinely wrong to real veterans. I'm a real veteran of the Korea War. You better thank me for my service. The fuck? Did you really do it? Yes, I fought in the Korea War on the right side. Bro complaining now and not when Arky was shocking you day before MLK Day. Oh my God, I just realized tomorrow's MLK Day. Oh my God. I should have been taking L's on those questions. He's going to gurk you for saying this, Crody. Sick to my stomach, fam. Brett McGurk served in the Israeli occupying force, if I recall. Wait, Brett McGurk served in the IOF? Brett McGurk Isn't Brett McGurk like Catholic? The fuck? The one chat he reads? I mean, Brian Mast is also an evangelical Christian. Oh, yeah, you're confusing it with Amos Hochstein. Amos Hochstein did. Yeah, you're confusing it with Amos. Amos is the other envoy to Israel and Middle Eastern affairs in the Biden administration, and that's who you're thinking of. Amos Hochstein is Jewish, and he did, I think, serve in the IDF. Brett McGurk did not. He's literally fucking Catholic. I mean, he's a major Israel dick rider, make no mistake, but he's not like as far as I know, people that have served in the American government in any capacity that touched Israel in any way, shape, or form, that despite not being Jewish, have served in the IDF is Brian Mast, standing tall and proud. Can non-Jews be in the IDF? Yes, if you're Brian Mast. This guy had to ask if you're a Korea veteran. No, Hasan Piker is not a veteran. He has no documented history of military service in the United States. Thanks, Grok. Why is someone that hates everything about U.S. wearing a veteran hat? Fucking weird move from a communist. Because I'm saying it like I was on the right side of the Korean War. Also, where did you find a dude with 2 likes, chatters? Y'all are fucking nutty. Shapiro apparently used Penn's leadership crisis in fall 2023 to ingratiate himself with the university. He appointed a representative to the board of trustees previously prohibited at Penn, who later sought to ouster the Penn's president and board chair with Shapiro's go-ahead. I never saw a governor at a board meeting or even at any kind of board social event or informal meeting. Former board of trustees chair Scott Bach tells me a governor of Pennsylvania, as far as I know, has never even appeared, let alone chaired, a board of trustees meeting. Shapiro and local lawyer Rob Fox, the representative, also apparently spoke with Mark Rowan, a private equity billionaire in the public face of a campaign for Bach and President Liz McGill's removal on separate occasions in this time. Fox was also installed on Penn's anti-Semitism task force 2 months after its creation, after intervention from Shapiro and new Penn president Larry Jameson. Yeah, I mean, he used this fucking he used his powers. $1 billion gets a permanent seat on Trump's board of peace for Gaza as India and others invited. What the fuck are we doing, man? God, I hate this fucking government. Yeah, I mean, look, Josh Shapiro is bad news, okay? He covered up a murder. He had many weaknesses. He was Mr. School Choice. And obviously the Israel stuff was not great either. So the notion that like Kamala Harris would ask any of these questions is not silly at all. It makes total sense. The fact that he's still fucking complaining about this, the fact that he is still complaining about this is ridiculous. It only brings more attention to how compromised he is. And not only that, but also he is a dick rider for Israel. Let's be real. He was trying to do the like liberal Zionist posture, you know, oh, I have like a reasonable middle ground position on this stuff. Like, it's fucking bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. Okay? That's it. Anyway, I'm tired, chat. Almost 30 or something, stabs in the back. Her neck, ruled a suicide. Yeah, that's... His memoir is obviously not for us, though it does beg the question, who is it for? I mean, he wants to run for president at some point, and I think he sees this as like an opportunity to tell his story. Like he was unjustly maligned for being Jewish. It's bad instincts in general. You know? But yeah, that's all I got today. 8-hour streamer, by the way. Bitch, it's a Sunday. How about no hours streaming on Sundays? I still streamed. I'm a 34-year-old man. I'm an adult. Okay. I got things going on in my life. I love you guys.